Hello everyone, this is Bbeltdan and we are back in Blender constructing the Enterprise J. I am first going to start off by apologizing because I said in that last episode that hey, I was going to just cut out momentarily and come back. Obviously, as you probably figured out by now, I didn't do that. Instead, when I exited out, looked at the amount of time that I've already spent inside the program, and I realized, ooh, I have stayed a little bit too long into this. So I cut the episode short there, but I picked up right where I left off in this episode. So, did a little bit of work, not a whole lot, but I'm going to show you what I did. I went ahead and replicated and duplicated actually the saucer section, and I have put in, I don't know if you can see it, but I've actually put in some windows. Now these are modeled directly into the mesh, and I wanted to do that so to kind of see for myself and to show you at the same time exactly what the mesh would look like, layout wise if I put in the windows. And so let's kind of zoom in on one of these windows. And and as you can also see, I put in one of these fellas in here. Now, once again, this is about 2 meters tall in Blender units, so that goes right there to kind of show you exactly, oops, how big that window is. Now, once I put this guy in there, I looked at the window and, oh, we're looking at, by the way, this window right here. Once I put him in, I started looking at it and I'm like, you know what? That window doesn't actually look too bad. It looks maybe just a little bit bigger than some of the windows that we've seen on the Enterprise D, but it's not too bad. And I went ahead, let me go into a top view here, into a slightly um, oval shape, kind of rounded shaped windows rather than straight shaped windows. Once again, it's kind of reminiscent of the Enterprise D. Need to do a little bit of, well, actually, I'm going to probably keep it just like that. Once again, as you can see, there's the 2 meter man representation of a person, and there's the window there. And the windows are actually quite skinny, so I'm actually quite happy with that. I thought they would be a lot bigger, but as you can see, even with the limited resolution of this picture zoomed in, you can kind of see where individual windows, kind of pick up and left off. So I went off of that, and I've also went ahead and put a window here. And this almost kind of reminded me as one of those optical illusions. You know, the ones where you have like a curved piece here and a curved piece up there, and this curved piece looks smaller than this one, but then you swap it, and now the one that was on top, now that on the bottom looks taller, then you put them together, look the same. I thought that this window and these windows over here were going to be of different sizes. Nope, that's all an optical illusion based on the distances. So as you can see, it's almost exactly the same. And once again, there's individual windows here, so that's the way I kind of pointed it. Still need to do a little bit of refining on this, and I probably will do a kind of a Boolean feature if I continue to do the windows in this particular fashion. A Boolean feature to cut these windows in, that way every single window is the same. But let's kind of go in and look at what the mesh is going to look like. I've only done one window, so it's not going to be repetitive, but you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Let me make sure that I have the saucer section highlighted, and that is, whoops, there we go. That's kind of how it's done. So now imagine if I was to replicate this all around the hull. That would be quite a few meshes. But let's zoom in just a little bit closer. I went ahead and duplicated the faces. Actually, that's kind of interesting how that worked out. Well, anyways, I've duplicated the faces onto this hull. Actually, I was thinking, I didn't notice it when I was on older versions of Blender, when I duplicated or subdivided these faces here. What would have happened is that I would have had new faces come this way. or not new faces, but new edges go along this face and this face. It didn't happen here. They must have changed something since the last time I really toyed around in Blender. But, well, that changes everything. I might actually do this. But anyways, I'm getting lost track here. The windows, I went ahead, cut the face, subdivided it, and then extruded the faces down. So therefore the windows look a little bit recessed from the hull panel. So it's a small little detail. I probably really don't need to worry about that unless there's any close-up shots of this, but I'd rather go ahead and do the kind of the recess now as opposed to later. So that way if I do want to take some photos of, oh, excuse me, some photos of this and get close up, then you can actually see some little extra details there. So, and I'm actually thinking that maybe I might probably see about putting kind of a rim around it, almost like a window pane type seal or something, just to give a little bit extra detail. But I have it there and went ahead and had an extra one up here as well. So, so yeah. Now it's going to start getting, so the mesh is going to start getting more and more intensive the more windows that I put in. So this is where I'm going to have to do some thinking. I'm either going to A, do this, but take a little bit of artistic freedom and reduce the number of windows that is on this ship. That way I won't have as many of these windows to model. Or I'm thinking about not doing this at all and having the windows instead being added in. These will basically be textures, and using some kind of oh crap, what's it called? Bitmap? No, not bitmaps. Depth maps, I think, to make it look like that these are sunken in. So I might end up doing that. I'm still thinking about it. But since I'm thinking about this and I'm going to be debating about this, and once again, opinions always available, I'm instead going to, instead of working on this, I'm going to continue work on the nacelles. Yes, I figure that this is such a small little detail that I can actually kind of work on this and try to get some, get them out of the way. So that is what we're going to start on today. So I can see I'm going to need to lengthen that one. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So much less detail in these nacelles. I'm gonna have to look at some extra pictures, see if I can find anything. And I don't, and I'm definitely going to change the way this is. I don't like the idea that um, this little blue, oh crap. You know what? I don't know why I keep doing this. I always know the name of these things until I have to mention them on video. So, but these, this part right here, the blue part. Um, ah, Forget it. Okay, but yeah, I don't like how it's just kind of hanging there. So I'm going to try to find some better way to actually attach this. Well, I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get there. But um, actually, I still kind of wonder how much are these nacelles used on these ships. I mean, in this century, figured eventually they would be kind of phased out with some newer technology. Actually, the way that I look at it is that in this future, is that maybe there might be two types of technology that is being used, one for traveling farther distances and the other one is being used for traveling shorter distances. So the warp drive is actually used for traveling shorter. Why is this? I don't know why this is doing this all of a sudden. Let's see. If the warp drive is actually used for like within the universe or within the quadrant and what have you to cover short distances, and I'm pretty sure that warp technology has. Oops, no, I didn't want that one. Has improved dramatically, in the years that we've between the next generation and there we go. Between the next generation and this generation and this particular type of time period. Now, exactly by how much, I don't know, but I can almost see that they've adjusted the warp scale once again. Oops. Nope, I don't want. Well, hold up. Let's do this. Ah. Oh, that's right. Once again, I apologize. I don't know why. I mean, I have been doing this for a while and I haven't seen. Get this out of here. It's like if you go in through the series, I mean, there was at least one point of time where. Oh, there we go. Let's go with that. And rotate it. Let's keep that right there right now. There we go. But the sometime between the I think it was the original series and the motion picture, there was a change in the warp speeds because they were vastly increasing their warp speeds and they didn't want to go like warp 9.9, so they went ahead and made like warp 9 was now warp 7 or something, so there was, as they improved their speed, and I could see them doing it again because we already started seeing towards the end of like Voyager and the next generation cast. I mean, they were already talking about this ship has a top warp speed of 9.9995, and I figured that would just get very old, for the captain to say go to warp 9.91 or something like that, So I can see they probably readjusted the warp scale to where 10 is still the top, and it's regardless of what the Voyager episode shows, it's still unattainable, you know, but 10 is the top, but like, what was now warp 9 was actually, 9.95 is actually now like warp 8 or something like that. I see is what they were doing. Look at that. So the way I think about it, that they have, once again, these warp nacelles, they still use, but with adjusted warp scale. So it's like what was 9.99 is now warp 9 or warp 8. So, warp 9.99995, which something might be attainable at this time, which is very close to warp 10, but not warp 10, is now the new warp 9. So they've adjusted that linear scale. Let's go back to the camera view here. But they would also have another technology, which I haven't really quite figured about what that would be. I mean, I do know, though, I would not like the idea of them doing Okay, where is. Oh, there it is. You. Come on. There we go. All right. I want like the idea of instantaneous travel. I mean, I'm sure that as advanced as civilization as the Federation has probably became. I mean, you know, instantaneous travel would probably be doable, but at the same time, let's go ahead and do this real quick. But at the same time, that's for a plot point that wouldn't really work. I mean, one of the parts of the plots that I really liked is when they had to get somewhere in a hurry, and even when the captain said maximum warp, it would still take them a long, long, long time to try to get anywhere. Yeah, this lag is making this very difficult, and I don't want to have to put you through it. But looking at the time, it looks like that I might be getting close to my 20-minute limit. So, yeah, all right, this is getting a little bit out of hand. I was hoping to try to go ahead and try to get some more of the nacelles done on episode, but I don't know whether if it's my capture program or whether if it's something with my computer. I know I've rebooted it several times, but I don't know. It seems like it's just becoming more laggy and laggy. I'm backing up everything or saving all my files to an external hard drive, so I don't think I'm filling up my hard drive that is on the computer. So I don't know. I'm tech savvy, but I'm apparently not tech savvy enough to try to figure this problem out. So since I'm almost time, uh, time is almost out, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting close to hitting that little 20-minute mark. I'm probably going to go ahead and let's see if I can get this real quick. I will probably be cutting out here in just a minute and doing the rest of the work online or offline and cut back in on the next episode. And hopefully by then I'll have the nacelles pretty close to being finished, or at least roughed out to what we visually can see. And then I'll start adding in some, imaginative details. Well, that worked to a certain degree. Whoops. There we go. Let's see, we want to do a mesh. Don't know what that would be. Yeah, okay. I know I clicked on it. There we go. Yeah, this is becoming just a little bit. Uh, ah, yeah. No, I didn't want to scale. I want to rotate. X 90. There we go. Yeah. All right, that's it. I'm making it official. I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode out right now, and I'm going to try to do a lot more of this work off screen. And I was hoping to try to do this in such a way to where you can actually see me you know do all this work on screen is not really kind of a tutorial, but just to kind of that way y'all are aware of the workflow that I'm wanting to take. But it doesn't seem like that it's going to cooperate with me for whatever reasons that I really need to try to figure out exactly what the problem is, why it's doing this to me all of a sudden. Said I've first several episodes, man, it wasn't this laggy, so I don't know what it is. Um, but I might actually no. Well, anyways, I apologize once again. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this official. I'm gonna cut out right here. So I will see you in the next episode. By then, so with the work that I'll try to get done offline, I'll have the nacelles for the most part finished. So all I got to do is just come in and add little details and things like the lights that we can obviously see here, and maybe some possible hull plates that I can possibly see along here. Like here might be some hull plating. I think there might be some extra details in here kind of hidden a little bit. So I'll put those back on screen. And please let me know what y'all would think about what I should do with the saucer section with all these windows. Should I model every single window here, or should I just go ahead and just say forget it and texture it in? So, and use a bump map, that's what I was looking for, a bump map to simulate the depressions and the small little recesses of these windows. Let me know. So, and I'm hoping to try to have another video here sometime by the end of this, by some early next week. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.